Hey there, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel.
Fucking idiot.
Like and subscribe. You ever see something in real life that reminded you of the plot of a shitty Steven Seagal movie? Steven Seagal movie? In a small town in California, an illegal biolab is hiding. Funded by the Chinese Communist Party, containing dozens of deadly biological agents. Only one man can stop them.
Americans are known for your brutality.
We're proud of it, too.
Yeah, I wish this was a shitty Steven Seagal movie, but it's not!
What?
I am not kidding. This is a real thing. Well, minus Chubbs Seagal. What the f am I on about? Well, this, smarty pantses.
An illegal secret Chinese bioagent lab has been raided by the FBI, the CDC, and California Public Health Department.
What? Are you f***ing kidding me?
Nope.
I'm sorry. This seems like a huge f***ing deal to me.
Yeah, you think?
Let me break it down for you and see if you feel the same. Let's go.
In December 2022, Code Enforcement Officer Jessalyn Harper noticed a green garden hose sticking out of the side of a warehouse in the small town of Reedley, California.
All right, let me just say this. Jessalyn Harper is an absolute M-bot Amazon warrior princess of a code enforcement officer. Because without her, who knows what would have happened?
The hose was a clear violation of the city's building code.
There'll be no hoses coming out of the side of buildings. Not in Jessalyn's town.
Jessalyn was allowed entry into the warehouse where she was met by 3 women, all 3 PRC nationals. That's the People's Republic of China. Crazy side note on this, by the way, Jessalyn had only been a code enforcement officer for a few months at this point. So I feel like that's pretty impressive for her to just kind of immediately crack something this big open.
Shout out to Oopaville, who I'm actually ripping off of this video.
So Officer Harper showed her badge and entered the warehouse.
Now, Reedley is a small town in the middle of California, in the San Joaquin Valley, where they do a lot of growing. A growing of the fruits and the vegetables.
I got this. Selling corn.
That's where I want my secret Chinese communist biolab to be discovered.
Inside the vast, dimly lit building, she found laboratory equipment, manufacturing devices, dangerous chemicals, and medical-grade freezers and containment units holding thousands of vials of biological substances.
Some of these vials were labeled with various infectious diseases. Over 20 different kinds. Like hepatitis C, HIV, and a well-known virus named after a Mexican beer. Nope. That's it.
Some of these vials were unlabeled. Some were labeled in Mandarin. Others in a code that no one ever deciphered. Others were in English, with names of pathogens that Officer Parker did recognize, like HIV.
So what are you doing, Chinese nationals, with a bunch of infectious disease samples and a ton of lab equipment?
Just hanging around.
What the heck are you getting down to?
The city also found approximately 1,000 transgenic mice. Mice used for research of human disease, which biolab workers told them were, quote, genetically engineered to catch and carry the COVID-19 virus.
Okay, that's it. Call up the CDC, the FBI, the CIA. Get Rocket Raccoon out here. Get Chuck Norris out here. Call up Steven.
Yes, ma'am.
Get his ass out here. We gotta shut this down.
Reedley city officials reached out to relevant law enforcement, public health, and regulatory officials about their shocking discovery. The FBI declined to investigate. The CDC refused to speak to them and, on multiple occasions, hung up on local officials mid-conversation.
Why? What kind of deep state, men in black, psyop bullshit is this? City manager Nicole Zieba had to bang on the door of the local congressman, Jim Costa, to get the CDC to even come out and take a look at it.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
With Representative Costa's help, Reedley officials finally got the CDC on site. Based solely on reading the labels, the CDC identified at least 20 potentially infectious agents, including many in risk group 2 and 3. Per the CDC, pathogens in risk group 3 are serious or lethal human diseases.
All right, finally. Good job, CDC. Now all you got to do is test this stuff so you have evidence in court to lock these people up in case there's any, foul play, which it looks like there's foul play, I'm not gonna lie.
Despite the admitted risks, the CDC refused to test the samples or examine the unlabeled vials containing what appeared to be pathogens or other biological samples. CD officials repeatedly requested and even offered to pay for the testing, but the CDC still refused. Bafflingly, the CDC then reached the conclusion that there was no evidence of select agents or toxins.
What? What did you say?
What? Now listen, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but something stinks here. You know what I'm saying?
Mommy, something stinks.
Yeah, like shit.
Just to be clear, these claims were made by the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party after investigating the Reedley site and speaking with a number of state officials. Now, the CDC claims they lack the legal authority to conduct a unilateral investigation because their legal obligations are permissive and not compulsory.
From the CDC website. The CDC provides oversight for select agents and toxins that cause disease in people.
The House Select Committee says if the state officials are begging you to test the samples, that's permissive, you knuckleheads. In the interest of public health, state and local authorities issued a court order to destroy all this shit before something bad happened. And there was a lot.
Approximately 104 tons of general waste, including complex laboratory equipment, and 448 gallons of medical and biological waste.
And poof, there goes your evidence of conducting illegal experiments with deadly biological agents. What the fuck?
The Select Committee, at the direction of Speaker McCarthy and Congressman Jim Costa, worked with Reedley City officials and issued a subpoena that would allow local officials to provide Congress with documents and evidence. Our investigation revealed a complex connection between the Reedley Biolab's owner and founder, Jiabei Jesse Zhu, and the government of the People's Republic of China.
And there he is, folks. Jiabei Jesse Zhu, the owner and founder of this scuffed-ass dollar store Reedley Biohazard Mart. And guess what else?
You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
That's right. He's a criminal.
Zhu previously stole millions of dollars of American intellectual property to directly benefit PRC-affiliated companies. Actions that, per his own admissions, were done to further PRC policy and to meet the stated demands of the PRC premier.
This guy was messaging his buddies on WeChat, where he claimed his fraudulent scheme would help, quote, defeat the American aggressor and wild ambitious wolf. What a guy. After being busted in Canada for stealing $300 million in American IPs,
when Zhu failed to appear in court after the issuance of the judgment, a judge issued an arrest warrant for civil contempt of court.
old Jesse skipped his court date and fled to the U.S. as a fugitive. And how did he do that?
Zhu then appeared to have entered the U.S. illegally and operated under the false alias David He. Upon entering the United States, he set up a new network of biotech companies with the same PRC national board members, acquired thousands of vials of biological substances, pathogens, medical devices, and equipment found later at the clandestine biolab site in Reedley.
Now, they found a bunch of medical test kits at this lab, and Jesse was like, hey, I'm just a legitimate businessman making some medical test kits. But in reality, they were bootlegs from China.
Under the auspices of these companies, Zhu purchased cheap or counterfeit test kits for COVID, tests, pregnancy, ovulation, and nutritional deficiencies from the PRC, resold them to Americans as made in USA at a steep markup.
The quality of these tests were found to be so janky, they were recalled immediately by the FDA.
The agency says thousands of medical tests manufactured by the company may not be safe to use.
They called bullshit on this scheme right from the start anyways, because you don't need all this high-tech medical equipment, medical-grade freezers, lab mice, and Ebola and HIV to make some fucking COVID tests and pregnancy tests. Come on.
None of these relatively straightforward fraudulent activities required the medical equipment, transgenic mice, pathogens, or other biological substances found at the biolab.
Besides that, where'd the money come from? This is an expensive operation. I mean, to acquire and keep all this stuff, It costs a lot of money. A lot of money. More than selling bootleg COVID tests. So where'd Jesse get the cheese?
He was also receiving large, unexplained money transfers from PRC bank accounts. More than $2 million of various transfers over a few years.
All signs point to this money coming from the Chinese Communist Party, laundered through a series of shell companies and into these bank accounts.
Allegedly.
All this was enough to land him in the slammer.
On October 18, 2023, federal agents of the Food and Drug Administration arrested Zhu pursuant to a federal criminal complaint. The complaint alleged that Zhu sold counterfeit or otherwise misbranded test kits and made false statements to federal agents.
Oh, damn, Jesse. Bruh. I think they may have questioned him a little bit.
It is unclear whether federal officials are investigating the broader concerns raised by the pathogens found in the Reedley Biolab.
A lot of questions still unanswered.
Given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
Was there something more sinister behind the government, federal agencies, and their slow reaction? Is this guy a spy for the Chinese Communist Party working on some bioweapon? Is a hot dog a sandwich? Will we ever know the answers to these questions?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay, well, that's all I got, really. Stay tuned for the next thing, whatever, because I said so. Peace!